Welcome back, everyone. In this video we're going to be going over the pond can base that we're building. We'll be doing it in weed stems this time. In the last video we were able to mock up a foundation and we built it in grass for the people out there that are either just starting or the people that prefer to build in grass. So we're back and we're going to do this in weed stems. It's going to be so much fun. We got to break up the grass. When I left off on the last video, we did this little basketball court really quick just to show the space in here. Really cool. Obviously this base will vary throughout the like tiers when we go from grass to weed stem to brick to ash cement. As you can see, there's a lot of room in here. Here is a mantis and it fits in here clean. It's gonna be even better. This is actually a crucial can to when you build a teleporting network. When you get the telepotties in New Game 2, this is one of the cans to have, especially when you need to make it back to the lab really fast. Because it's pretty, this is essentially raid proof. Yeah, your door can be attacked, but it's very hard for any land creatures to do that. Only ones that shoot projectiles or like some of the infected insects, if they explode, they have to be like just in this sweet spot. Even then it's hard because they can't go into the water all the way here. They kind of get stuck and can't hit it. They don't have enough range to hit it. Flying insects will usually attack the sides and top, will try to, because nothing's sticking out of the can. And the door is recessed like on the last can, so you can see the door is actually recessed in there, which makes it like 1 out of maybe 20 insects that are flying can hit that. It's very rare and easy to pick those insects off. So here we go, we're gonna get started on destroying this stuff, which takes a minute. We'll get going on those weed stems. It should look a lot better in weed stems. I think grass is just rough. Not a big fan of it if you've seen my previous videos. So I'm just gonna start by doing the floor here. And the floor is supported by a multi-point foundation. I did a video before the previous video. The video before that was on how to set up the foundation and line it up in this can so that you can fit everything inside the can like we did. Nothing's sticking out, and then you come up with this awesome base, and the can, the doorway is lined up with the opening. It's just a win-win-win. So if you want to check out that video, it'll kind of give you some insight on how to get the foundation set to build an awesome base in here, no matter what material you're using, no matter what difficulty you're on. And you can strengthen this foundation more by putting a cross wall diagonally between the walls that are there. But honestly, there's really no need to. Something would have to go like beyond critically wrong to get any type of insect in the bottom of the can. That would be nearly impossible unless they like glitch through the side of the can or something. So I wouldn't worry about it. You can if you want, but there's no need. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna go get the stem pallets really fast. I store weed stems too when you're carrying them and you have too many. Just build walls. because they only take weed stems. You can just slap some walls here to store them. Alright, go get some of these pallets to set aside.
That's a spider! That's a spider!
This base is gonna look so good in ash cement when it's done. It'll look good in brick. I might leave this one brick for all the brick lovers. We'll see. But this one's gonna look really good in ash cement because the walls are all the same size for the most part. So the grain of the walls will match. And it'll look good with the weed stems also, without a doubt. Oops.
I spy.
You go through these weed stems so fast. It's crazy how many weed stems it takes. Like 400 or 500 just to build this base on weed stems. For those beginning, good luck with, you know, if you haven't unlocked ash cement or mushroom brick. The easiest to build this in is by far mushroom brick. It's just so easy to get mushroom brick, and it's even easier to make it.
Ant spotted!
So yeah, mushroom brick will be where it's at for those, but you gotta unlock the mushroom brick, which isn't too hard. I mean, you just gotta do a few labs, a few of the lower tier labs, not the end of the world. The only thing that's kind of a bummer about, like, it's not as bad with mushroom brick. It's bad with grass and weed stems. It's crazy apparent is the gap you can see through these. Unlike mushroom brick, you can barely see through, and then obviously when you get to ash cement, you can't see through at all, which is nice. I personally don't like being able to see through the base. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool if you have it somewhere where, like, there's a lot of bugs and you want to see, like, what's outside. I mean, but you have windows you can make, so I don't know. I still think it's just kind of tacky, very crude crafting. And I'll be curious to see if any of these stick out, because on the last build doing the ceiling we were cutting it close, so we might have to modify the ceiling a little bit. I really wish they would allow you to place diagonal panels, because we could put these corner walls like this, and then flip it, and then you know put it like so, and then I wish you could put a panel, like a floor on it diagonally like that. Like, yeah, you could put, like, using like a roof in here probably, but just it's not gonna look right. I mean, you could, the pine cone roast would probably work, so like, yeah, you could get away. Well, maybe we'll try, but the problem is you can see on the build, like if I were to build this, like the blueprint, so here is the end of the roof here where it will go on top of the wood, but then you have all this hanging out, so trying to fit them in a small space, you would have all kinds of pieces hanging out, which isn't exactly ideal, but that's how you could get like a really clean interior. We'll have to see what happens, but yeah, that's definitely a little more of a, would be a little more difficult. Pete doesn't want to grab that. There. And normally you could build the blueprint over the grass like that. There's a problem doing this. Sometimes it'll break it and you can grab these. But a lot of times there's like a glitch where you'll build it and it will have the grass wall that didn't break inside of the stem wall. It's just and then it's more of a mess to clean up. It just becomes a hassle. So, I prefer to remove the materials first, you know, just so you don't have to do it like 4 times. And another thing you can do is just take these. Once we get the lower area, I'll just take them and throw them outside. We'll move some of that stuff. And then you'll just, like what I do for the mixers. You'll just build a bunch of those right here and then have them supported by like one piece, and then it'll break it all at once. It's just kind of a hassle jumping in and out of the can. But essentially you'll do something like this. Once you want to come out here and put one, hopefully that's not too far away. It might have to be closer. As long as you can get these to snap to it. So it's not going to do that because it's too close. So this is empty. No, not yet. We'll put this in here for a minute since we got some space. Get it out of the way, and then yeah, you should be able to snap these to it without jumping out of the can. So we could try mocking up for kicks the roof panels. I'm gonna be, I guess, interesting, because then what we could do is change the we could change the, yeah, see, that's probably gonna stick out. Come on. For kicks, I guess let's see what happens. I'm curious, because dude. Let's see. So once you get it going, they'll stick out there pretty good. It helps not to have a ton of flats of stuff out here, but let's just see. I'm pretty sure these will stick through. Come on. It's valid. It doesn't want to let me build here. Sometimes it'll be difficult. You gotta kind of mess with it to get it to. Let's just see if it'll let me build a smaller one. This is gonna make me build 4 of them. Let's just see what we can do here. I'm curious to see if these stick out, because it doesn't matter if it has lower defense. I'm almost certain the bottom of that will stick out. The reason I explained earlier. See it, and it might not stick out at the end right here, but there's a good chance it will stick out as we get closer to the door, because the space narrows down a little bit because of the way the water was. But let's see, because that could actually that'll make it look pretty decent in here, you know. And you don't really lose too much space. Like, well, the one downfall would be if we're gonna stack chests here, because we can do 3 high cutting into the space, especially when it's ash cement here. You would do 2 high, but you could also just do the 3 high right here and then have like a flat piece there. So for now we'll mimic the build that this was and then go from there. Maybe modify it at the end and see if once we get the layout and weed stems proper. I'm gonna change these. Well, I guess if I can't change these until I change that, so let's just go exactly how we had it before. Hopefully that fell out there. That way we're not having to deal with picking up stuff that's stuck behind the other objects. And then when you get too many items out here, you'll just break that like so. Put another one out here a little closer, like maybe right there. And we're out of weed stems, so we're gonna have to bring another pallet over. I'm definitely curious to see if we can put the roof in here without too many complications, but I do think as we get to the tighter space towards the front of the can, it will extend outside of the can, and we really don't want that to happen. It thinks that's supporting something. So let me go get another pallet really fast.
Detecting a soldier ant in our area. Proceed with caution.
Surprised there's soldier ants all the way over here. He's like way out of his territory. He's hunting for the Easter eggs that just dropped today. Whip out our trusty torch. Start another one of these. This really is such a good can to build in. I almost prefer this can more than the milk molar bottle. But I usually will use the milk molar bottle and just have a teleporter that goes to this can. But this can is like really hard to raid. So honestly,
I spy.
it's pretty awesome. Especially when you've got it in like a higher tier material. And then bugs always drowned right here. Yeah, see, ant died down there. You'll get aphids and stuff. You can't loot them because it'll be water damaged. But during raids, a lot of the bugs will even drown, or they'll just disappear. One of the things I've noticed, like when raids happen on this can, especially when you trigger them with the emitter, the bugs will just disappear. Like even during the raid, it's kind of weird. Like when they can't reach your base, they just kind of vanish. I guess we'll move these to the length of the roof panels so that they're all facing the same direction. I think I'm just gonna break these in here. It'd be a little bit faster. These are not wanting to snap where I want them to snap to. It's just easy to place them in here accidentally over a wall and then have it break the wall you just built. It can be annoying sometimes, especially when you're trying to do this in a hurry. killed that fast. That's crazy. You really wouldn't think that it would be, you know, 400 or 500 weed stems in a small base.
Nose.
But then again, this base is way bigger than you'd think it'd be from the outside too. It's the beauty if you do the cans right. There's a lot of
Don't even need to boil it.
space in them.
Just close your eyes and imagine it's a fruit pounder.
Oh, whoops, it placed out there. We don't want that. Now these were just there for the little basketball court thing. These won't be going back. So we're gonna put this here. We don't want these to poke through. Oops. We are going to get rid of these doors. Well, that should have broke. Now you don't have to have double doors. I just do it, as I stated in the last video. It's for like peace of mind, even though I don't close the inner door. So for me, it's kind of pointless. But for those, you know, looking when you have 2 ash cement or 2 acorn doors, you got like some serious defense. You don't have to worry about people coming in here, or like the insects coming in during raids, because like they'd have to get through 2 of those doors, which is very unlikely. That even if you weren't defending constantly, it's very unlikely that you would have that many insects concentrated in this one area. You know, like they aren't going to be, like I said, they barely attack here to begin with, let alone would you have multiple in that one spot doing that. So we're out of weed stems again.
Spider detected!
Oh, we're completely out of weed stems. So close. So I'm gonna have to go and grab more weed stems really quick. And unfortunately, I got most of the weed stems over here. Gotta keep an eye out for our spider friends. I don't think we need too many more weed stems to finish the main, you know, portion of the base. As you can already see, there is a lot of room to be creative in here. You know, plenty of room for shelves. All kinds of stuff, you name it. Actually, you know what? That might be a better option. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. That's up to those. Yeah, with certain builds, as I was explaining in earlier videos, it's hard to keep the grain of the build. As you can see, like the full walls are horizontal with the vertical pole. The half walls are vertical. The smaller walls are all vertical. So you get different patterns, and while that might not be a big deal to some, I'm a little OCD and I like to keep it as clean as possible. That's one reason this base will look really good in ash cement. And now you can remedy a lot of this if you ended up putting like the pinecone roof in here. But we'd have to see. We'll check the fitment when it's done for kicks. And you could use a different kind of roof too. You could do like clover or something, but I feel like that would only really look good with grass. Maybe with log, but whatever material you prefer to use really is what it comes down to. So we're just about finished here. I'm gonna have to go grab the rest of those weed stems. Come on. We'll test the fitment of that roof. You can put floors up here, some flooring. And this is honestly perfect. This is such a good layout for just about anything in this base. Like if you do 2-story, or you could do similar to what I did before and put your bed up here or your bed up here. I do like, remember, if you put it over here, you got to find a place for the ladder or whatever, you know, stairs, whatever you want to use to climb. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's leaving these floating, and I've seen it do this in cans a lot. It's really odd. But see, with the way this is lined up, your ladder's right here. It's perfect, you know? So it tucks away into that second door, which you don't have to have. If you get rid of the second door, then this is completely even here. But I mean, it's peace of mind, and I think a lot of you will prefer to have the peace of mind, especially if you're in like New Game Plus, and especially if you're not trying to just build in the Molar jar. I know it's not really that fun if everyone builds in the same place, or you're playing multiplayer, you got a world with your friends, obviously, unless you're all sharing a base. Personally, I don't share bases too often. I really wish they actually made a thing in the game where if you were in the same base, that whichever player's chest, you can't pull from the other person's chest for resources, like when you're at a crafting station. I really wish they would separate that. It just makes it a little bit more fun, especially like say you're playing with people that are just learning. Like I help a lot of my friends that start playing this game, but at the same time, if I do everything, they're not really learning. So it helps, like they can share your base till they learn how to make one, but it's better not to have it so they don't share your items, because if most of the difficulty of the game is really just getting the items. So if they aren't doing that, they aren't really learning, if that makes any sense for those. I'm sure some people out there are familiar with that. If you play a lot, you just want your you want them to be able to experience doing that. You don't want to float them all the way through. Come on. Rotate. 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 It's being difficult. Come on. There we go. I don't know why it didn't want to rotate. It did not want to change the settings. But I'm just gonna start this right here so you can kind of get an idea. We're gonna need even more weed stems, but this is looking good so far. I mean, that's a lot of space, and I'll show it built out in the end. I guess we can break these, but that's only one weed stem, I think, per door, if I remember right. Yeah, that's not anything, nothing special. So let's slap these in here. I'll go try to get a few more. I know you probably don't want to watch me run around and farm weed stems. But let's just see what we got over here. I think I got most of these. I'll grab these. And this should be enough to at least finish the main area right there. I'm not going to do a full second floor. I'll fully build out the base once we get into the other builds. Like once we do the final build, I'll decide completely on a floor, or if we're gonna do it all one room, or what we're gonna do. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in seeing what it'll become. Man, it dropped those really funky. See if I can get some of these without falling in. Nope. They'll all float over there in a second. That's good. That should be good enough. This is definitely like the best location for a can, though. You have so many insects here. But it's nice because if you build these out, so we're going to build them all out and link them with teleporters. I mean, then you've got like infinite storage almost. And oh, what happened here? Oh yeah, we got to put one of these right here. There we go. So we'll just go. I mean, you can go ahead and do this. And now if you see, well, here we'll just do these because like I don't have enough to build all this, but you get the idea. You can lay out a whole upper floor, but your upper floor, if you do the roof, you lose space. I'll show you here what I mean. So if we had no roof here, you could get rid of this wall. You see how this obviously overhangs, so that you'll get the full utility of this 3 wide flooring if you got rid of the roof, because you'd still be able to build a lot of stuff to the edge of the can here. If you see, like, look at this. You could leave the railing, which I usually leave, and boom, you can build all the way here. So by doing a second floor in here, you're losing, you know, quite a bit of space. But if you're doing a single story, then it might make sense, because then you can hang lighting and do all that, you know, like depending on what you want to do. But now I'm curious if we try to put a ceiling in here, because then again you lose space if you do a second floor with the ceiling, because essentially you're just cutting this diagonally from here down to that corner. But then it looks super clean. So I mean, let's just see. I'll try to place one at each end just to see, because I gotta break this stuff anyways. Here, another annoying thing is that it doesn't happen often, but with weed stem and it's not so much on grass, it's mainly weed stem. When you break things like other floors with this rope, it can actually fall through the floor, through the holes in the floor. So and then like I don't have my thing, my pallets here, so just to store these, I'll just slap them right there for now. So what we'll do is we'll just see really fast. Let me see what we got here. If we did throw a roof in here, I mean, I would go with obviously pine cone because it matches the burr floor since you're not seeing the top. The only issue was that it didn't want me to place a whole one. We might be able to make it like have it so it lets me place one. We might have to force it, which might require me moving a few of these. That might be why, is I only moved enough for one space, but it might think it's hitting something because it's really weird in this game. It'll let me place it in the can, but it won't let me place it. So no, we gotta come off right here. Let me move these, because it's gonna leave a single floor wide ceiling here, but then it'll be clean, so it should let me place that there. I don't know why it's being ridiculous. Come on. That should easily place right there. But of course it's being difficult. And the game's just weird like that. Like I said, sometimes you gotta move stuff around, or if I was standing up higher, it's just weird. But it looks like, so you can see a perfect example of how much the edge of the roof sticks out. Let's just see if it'll let us put any of these, or if we have to do it in the half. Actually, the crow feather one seems to be the best, and I was gonna let me place that too. Let's see. It was feeling that. Come on. Come on. Why you gotta be like that? So it's being complicated, but you can see how it sticks out. So let's just do the smaller pieces, the quarters, because it let us do this. So as you can see, like if I were to put the crow ones, the only problem is the crow ones curve. So let's do the initial pine cone ones that don't curve. Oops. Although I could see this looking pretty decent. Maybe I might build out the final one like this. I really wish they let you put the angled panels, like angled floor and stuff. So here's my concern. I don't know if you can see this. It's hard to show the camera, but if you see like right here, the tip of that is like right next to the edge of the can. As you see, our wall ends where I'm standing, and you can see how they poke almost through. So if we go along, let's just see. We'll check up here. So what'll matter is up in the front here. And then, as you can see, like it pretty much leaves the same floor space that you would have if you did a upstairs like floor, like I was explaining here. You're gonna be stuck with the same thing because as you see, the roof comes from this panel right here. So I gotta move this anyways. So you have a one full floor wide ceiling, and then it'll be the angled part from here down to here. And you can see my worry is this is super close right here. This gets close, so I don't know that it's gonna like that. It's gonna, I think these are gonna stick out. Oof, maybe not, maybe just enough. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, every base you do, every base you learn something new. So I'm thinking that's gonna work. I want to wait till it's nighttime. It allows you to see the blueprints really well. So yeah, we'll see. I want to see really quick. I'm not gonna build these now. I don't see anything. So I think I'm gonna do a build incorporating that because that's awesome. That's some of the stuff that broke for the basketball hoop that like broke and fell up there.
Hey, Mr. Ant.
So we're gonna do that. I'm not gonna build these right now, but I'm definitely gonna incorporate that into the final build. I think we'll try it and see what it looks like. Because especially if we do that in one, let's just see, if I were to do it in brick, it'd for sure work in brick. If I were to do it in ash cement, where is that wall? Yeah, that would look alright, honestly. So I'm gonna replace all this stuff for now, and then we'll go to our next material. And I'm not gonna build out the full floor. If you've been watching throughout the video, I'm assuming you would understand, like, you can build it out, have it 2 stories, and just like if you do that and retain the roof, you lose some space in terms of like build space for that second floor. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but just something to obviously take note of. If you're trying to cram as much stuff in here, maybe you're not building all these cans, you know, maybe you're just building this to get you through the regular game, or maybe you're just gonna use this can, you're playing with a bunch of people and the Molar jar is taken, and you're already bummed out because your favorite character was taken by another player, or you know, like whatever it may be. When I'm done breaking my pointless grass pallets, the plank pallets. But yeah, so here it is, essentially your finished room in planks. You obviously got a ton of space here. You know, you got your brood mother, you could have your stuffies and put shelves and still fit a bed. If we built this out one here, that's way more room than I had in the other base for a loft, obviously. Then you can put, you know, shelves over here, you know, do a bunch, have your brood mother, or you want a wasp in here. It's tiny, you know. I haven't unlocked the wasp queen. I haven't fought the wasp queen or the infected brood mother since the last video. I've been trying. I had to finish the Expedition 18 and No Man's Sky. I gotta build more videos, or make more videos for No Man's Sky. I want to build some crazy bases in that game because I love it. I just want to unlock more stuff with Quicksilver first, so I can build like really elegant bases. So if you subbed, stay tuned for that if you're into that game as well, because it's awesome. I heard it wasn't very good when it launched. I wasn't there to play it when it launched, but I can tell you right now, it's definitely one of my favorite games. Grounded's major favorite game, obviously. I just wish they would release more stuff. That would be That would be awesome. They need
Just
way
pretend
more
it's beef
content,
jerky.
more building materials, so you can really get creative.
Spider detected!
So yeah, I need to see what, I don't remember. I have the April spawn on my other game that has like all of last year's spawns, but I don't really remember what you get from the April spawn. I'll have to check it really quick. But yeah, also stay tuned if you want to see. So I'm turning this into the from the grasslands, it'll be the wastelands. I'm gonna cut every grass blade in the entire lower grasslands that can be cut and permanently remove them. So it'll just be the upper grasslands and the lower wastelands. And I'm not using the what's it called, the brood mothers, the moldy bomb or whatever it's called. I'm gonna be doing it with just this axe. A little time consuming, but it's not too terrible. So stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna check and see what the what we even get for this for April. And then we'll come back and we'll make it out of mushroom brick. I think I'll incorporate the ceiling when we do the mushroom brick, because the burr ceiling, obviously burr floor and burr ceilings look so good with mushroom brick and ash cement. What can you buy? Really? Bummer. It's just a sign set. I thought it was going to be more. I remember it being a little bit more, but that's too bad. I'll probably get that so I have everything on this world that I started. I started specifically to show filming. But yeah, thanks for watching. If this video is helpful, like, subscribe. I want to give a shout out to those that subscribed since my last video. I appreciate the support. If this did help you in any way, please share it so that it might have a chance to help others. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Till next time.